Hello everyone, I'm back for the second episode of Trigun Stampede. I apologize for the sound quality in the previous video. One of my siblings was asleep across the hall, so I was talking kind of quietly. Yeah, so I really enjoyed the first episode because I've had a little bit of time to just sit on it and process what I watched. I was thinking about the plants and the seeds and the people. At the beginning, when Vash was a kid, he was talking to the people or things or entities in those pods. And so I thought that those were seeds or plants, maybe. The ship said seeds on it. And then Nai said that the plants survived, but the people didn't. So I'm gonna need to figure that out as I watch. I'm sure that'll get clarified. I'm hoping that this episode gives me a little more to analyze in terms of character, because I already have some thoughts brewing about each of the main, four, I guess, because you have Vash, Nai, Meryl, and Roberto. I kind of talked about what I think about Nai already, even though he's the one that we've seen the least of. So I'm hoping that like the main three, this will be a character-focused episode, because the previous one was like a setting and plot and introduction focused episode. This one, I'm guessing, will establish character a little bit more. Okay, so we're back at him talking to the plants or the people again, right before the explosion. So there are people in there. Now, I'm not sure if this is two different instances or if this scene happens immediately after they escaped their little pod after Rem sent them away. Because if Nai caused all of that, he was acting so normal throughout the escape and even asked Rem to come with them. So either that scene of him like laughing in the wreckage and the scene of them escaping are two separate times, or Nai was just really good at orchestrating things and acting like he had nothing to do with it. Yes, it was. Oh, this is the intro. I thought this was the ending. This might be one of those ones that I never skip. I feel like I'll keep noticing things. That face keeps appearing places. There was one above Nai's evil piano. It looks like a Madonna or an angel. Fun fact, the skip intro button was created at my university. 69? Nice. Alright, so this is where Vash decides not to kill some murderers. People who most people would think, hey, they deserved it. It's because life is a gift and a blessing. That would be my evil twin. He's so silly. Yeah. Roberto is incredibly intelligent and shrewd. That's something that I noticed in the previous episode. Him like tricking the military police officer into the duel and his observations about Vash, even when Vash gives him nothing to go off of, just his silence is enough for Roberto to be like, okay, there's something going on here. I can tell by your pleasant demeanor that you're scared. Things like that. He's got a very good read on people. And so I think that part of why he's constantly needling Meryl is because he sees that she's green and kind of naive. And I think he doesn't want her to get hurt or taken advantage of. And that's probably why he constantly kind of teases her about that. I also really like what he said in the previous episode about how only the privileged can afford to call other people cowards. Because the other people on this planet, the regular people, are just trying to do what they can to survive and keep themselves safe. And so it's easy for someone like the police officer with power, or Meryl, from what I can tell, hasn't maybe experienced the same amount of poverty and loss that a lot of these people have. And those are two different types of privilege that they have, right? The police officer has the privilege of power. Meryl has the privilege of just being young. I think he was on the money when he said that only the privileged can call other people cowards. Oh, that's so cute. That's a huge, huge green flag for any character, any person, actually, when they're good with kids. Huh? Aw, come on. So 2, the running man. Yeah, it's understandable. He's worth a lot of money. You turn him in and 60 million double dollars. You save the town. Can't really argue with that logic. Even if I don't think it's the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do. I get it. That is sick. You can do a lot of really cool camera work with this kind of 3D style that would be really hard to pull off hand-drawn. Oh, these gotta be the Nebraskas. Goofsiv. Now that's a goofy name. That's true. They have pizza in this universe. That's good. Pizza technology didn't die in the apocalypse. Yeah, that's the thing, dude. If stuff happens to the kids, I'm out. I'm a big believer in the existence of secret third options everywhere. So, Vash is smart. I don't know. He could, like, turn himself in. The woman could collect the bounty, buy a new plant. He can get out of jail and lead the police on a wild goose chase away from these moms and kids so that they don't get the repercussions of him escaping out of jail. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. He's a smart guy. He knows something about the plans. He'll figure out the secret third option in no time. No, do not. Oh, thank God. I figured they wouldn't, like, kill the kid or the pregnant mom like this. It's not that kind of show. They might kill kids or pregnant moms later, but I feel like this is not the right way to do it. So I wasn't too scared, but I was kind of scared. No future for those who cannot fight. A lot of people believe that, and I think the world would be a much better place if people didn't. That's why I think you need pacifists like Vash, especially in a place like this, where, how do I say this? He has to be so extreme in his beliefs because he has to prove that there's a better way. And even if no one else decides to become a hardcore pacifist like him, his influence might lead people to fight less, even if it can't stop the fighting. Seeing his example and his commitment and his bizarre way of doing things, it will lead, if he can get through to people, it will lead to an overall decrease in violence, in violent thought. Although you'll never save the world, and as long as there are people left, if you do all that you can to save people and to be a peacemaker and show them that there are other ways of doing things, even if it's not 100% effective all the time, even if people still fight, that's why you need people like Vash. That's what I was talking about in the previous episode, about how that commitment to a perfection principle is unrealistic, and that's why you need it. Yeah, I think if he can get those guys away from the town, that's a good idea. Mad Max looking vehicle. Was that guy's arm? Yoink. Nope. None at all. Maybe not. That's what I was afraid of.
私もあの人に同意です。そうやって逃げ回る自分が一番利口だなんて思ってませんか？あなたは優しいんじゃなくて、傷つくことから逃げているだけです。
It could be both. I don't think it's pain that he's running away from necessarily, though it could be. But I think it takes far more guts to say, no, I'm not going to fight, than it does to actually stand up and fight, because people will keep fighting easily. I don't think he's doing it because he's scared.
確かに僕は怖がりかもしれない。でもそれってそんなに悪いことかな。正面から戦うことが大事。たとえそれで誰かが死んでも。
Yeah, and there are other ways to fight. We think of fighting often as just a violent physical thing, but I think that you can fight injustice in a way that isn't, you know, a head-on confrontation or shootout. Yeah, I was hoping he'd be able to lead those guys away from here and he wouldn't come back. The plan? Yeah. Don't endanger the baby, Rosa. See, he can fight, and he does fight. He just does it in his own way. And these people are so used to fighting just meaning guns and fists and whatever that they can't see what he's doing. Also, I've noticed they frame a lot of cool action sequences in silhouette against like a nice sky or painted backdrop, and it's pretty cool. Well, Vash is saving up for pizza. It's not about what they deserve. It's about love. Humanity doesn't deserve saving. People will continue to do what they want all the time. You can't save everyone from death. You can only postpone it and hope that they get a good death at old age after living a fulfilling life. But eventually we all die. And so yeah, in that sense, what value is there in trying to save them? The value of doing good for its own sake. The value of providing a little bit of love and respite in a cruel world. You know, blessed are the peacemakers. Even if you're going to suffer for it, even if they're going to turn you in after, you don't just save people and show kindness in the hope of giving kindness in return. That's transactional. I don't think we can view the world in such a transactional way, especially the immaterial parts of the world, like love and relationships. Exactly. Who cares? Yeah. Dude, me and Vash are just on the same level. And then he just proves that he could have flattened them all and that he was holding back and choosing not to. And that's a much more powerful statement than running. It shows that his money is where his mouth is, right? He's not running because he can't fight or because he's a coward. He's running because he chose to. He could fight. I think it's sweet that he says that includes you and doesn't dehumanize his enemy, because it's dehumanization that I believe is the root of all evil. I don't necessarily think it's going to work, but also you can't just look at someone and be like, oh, they're beyond saving. I can't help them. You never know who's going to respond to an offer of love and kindness, even if it's the last person you would expect. And so I think even if he does end up having to fight these guys, detain them, put them back in jail or whatever, it matters that he extends that kindness. He's on the side of peace, baby. Because even these guys have humanity. They've got someone that they love. I just wanted to point out that Vash does not tell Rosa not to shoot. He simply asks her for help and lets her make the decision for herself. Yeah, I think no one would blame her for shooting him, or for not shooting him. But if the condition is you give back the plant, we help you and your son, and you get out of here, seems like a good deal to me. Meryl and Roberto are unmoved. Meryl's a little moved. Yeah. Yeah, he's a weirdo. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. And who knows? Who knows if this peace will last? But what matters is that it's here now. What's that virus-looking thing? Yeah, they all look like viruses. Spyware, if you ask me. Is he leaving? Maybe he thinks they'll be safer if he's not there. With all the bounty hunters coming after him. Himself? Also 9. Countless bounty hunters. Yeah. Yeah, it looked a little too clean and shiny to be part of this world. Oh no. Oh man, I was hoping they would maybe just corrupt him or something, but they just blew that man up. Now who knows what the dad is gonna do. Maybe return to his old murderous ways because of the violence that befell his son. It's cyclical, you know? Alright, I'm gonna watch this outro. It looks Zodiac-like. There's certainly symbolism here that I'm not getting, but it's beautiful. I'm not sure if those are constellations or characters. That one looked like it said north. Oh, that looks kind of like Morse code. That was a good episode. Not as character focused. Well, I mean, we got a lot of focus on Vash and Rosa and the enemy of the week, but I was hoping to get a little more on Meryl and Roberto. But I guess we have a whole season with all these characters, so I'll get to see it eventually. I like the questions that this show raises because even if you don't agree with the answers that it provides or Vash's philosophy, I think it's good to think about these things. If more people just sat and thought about what violence and dehumanization can do to other people, even people that deserve it, we might have a little less strife in the world. I wonder why Meryl's last name is Strife. I was wondering if it's like a joke off of like Meryl Streep, because the other guy's name is Roberto De Niro, so I was like, maybe they're just named after actors. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, I think that's what all good fiction does. It raises questions, makes you think about them, and then introspect, and then possibly even make changes in your own life based on the things that you've seen. I think that Vash could strike a better balance between running away and taking a stand, but that's his character arc. That's for him to figure out. So thanks for joining in. I'll see you next week for Stampede Saturday on a Tuesday. That's all.